It's got to happen. It absolutely has to happen. I'm just speaking for, not just for the city of Brooklyn, but also for the First Suburbs Development Council and the consortium. It has to happen. There is no identity in Northeast Ohio. Brad is quite right. We've fallen off the global markets because when people think of our region, it's fractionated. It's been fractionated for the last 8 years. I work for state government. Maybe it's our fault over the last 8 years, but we have got to get ourselves organized. And the first ring suburbs, by the way, is going down on the 18th to talk to Columbus about becoming a priority investment area. And we are strong with 450,000 residents and business people. And we are going down to talk to Columbus about being a priority investment area. Now, does that bespeak some of the revenue sharing that has to happen, the JEDs that have to occur, the transportation that has to be shared? Yeah, it's going to talk about all those things, and Columbus is going to look for those things, I assure you. Brad did allude to that. But yes, we have to organize. We have to have one voice, and that's all I've pushed through the first ring suburb. We have to have one voice. And we need an identity. We need a trademark. Cleveland Plus is a great thing, but we as a region, where are our strengths? We're becoming a service state. That scares me. You want to annex Florida? Let's annex Florida. But we make things in Ohio.
Yeah.
We make very good things in Ohio. He just pointed out 2 companies that are on the Weatherhead 100. If you watched the news the other night, they had companies there from the Weatherhead 100. And it just, I've been pushing this like crazy. In fact, 16 years ago, we started talking about this. I had a governor's advisory board, and I don't mean to take the time here, but I had a governor's advisory board that had every city in Cuyahoga County on it, so we could start talking about these things. Folks, this was 16 years ago, and we are still fractionated. I will get off my soapbox.
I promise she wasn't a plant. Yeah, Steve. Yes.
I agree we are fractionated, but Minneapolis-St. Paul has seemed to have solved that problem. The biggest problem we have is maintaining the identity and the uniqueness of some of the communities. The Minneapolis, Greater St. Paul area has seemingly done that in northern Minnesota. And I think that is the model we need to use. Too often here, regionalism gets tied up in political fiefdoms.
Yes.
The basic problem is what we are to the public. And that is correct. For instance, Akron right now is the Polymer Corner.
Right.
University of Akron and the city itself advertises as such.
Right.
Think about Cleveland. Before Neela Park sort of went to Louisville, what did we have here? Invention, creation, and education. That's what we did. We were the research people. We've done it. The first photoelectric lights were developed here. They came down for one reason. The average boys from the pubs on the west side threw their derbies up and they hit them all the time. They were pretty, after a few years, weren't very good. But the point is that if you're a businessman and you want to locate this here, a couple things happen. One is, can I get the skilled labor I need? 2, what do I see? I want to go to one place, like every other place is. But we have to unite that way. And the other part of it is to get rid of the fears that they have politically. We have got to have so that the local constituent still has some contact and some feel through to our government.
So you've hit, both of you have hit what I think are a couple of the central points. And I guess one of the questions then for you as leaders, in many of my conversations, people do talk about regionalism as if it's a choice. And when it's a choice, you can manage to as if it's not an option. But if we really, in our hearts and decisions, realize that it is what's coming and how it is, how might that affect the way we undertake our decisions? And so the real question is not whether regionalism, but what kind of regionalism we want. And so it is an inevitability, so what kind do we want? And then to your point is we sort through lost my train of thought. darn, it'll come back to me. It was a good point, too. The type of, I've lost it. It'll,
4 in the morning.
what's that? It'll come to me at 4 in the morning, or no, just as I put my head down. But, oh, I know what it is that we have this view of regionalism that it comes down to a simplistic thing. Oh, regionalism, that means consolidating all the positions and half a city council's gone and we're going to, Ohio City's going to disappear and all that uniqueness that was Brook Park, goodbye. There are more flavors of regionalism than there are ice cream flavors at Baskin-Robbins. And how we do this is where all the richness and so forth goes, and it just drives me nuts when we reduce these to these simplistic arguments as if we're going to lose our identity and things of that sort, because there's a million ways to do that, and until we embrace that, it makes it tough. So.